A love story born in the heart of the United Kingdom. London, the city of timeless charm and cosmopolitan vibrance, has long been a backdrop for royal love stories. If you like the video, please subscribe and comment. Cinematic romances, and countless whispered secrets exchanged along the River Thames. But few could have expected that amid the bustling streets, under the shadow of Big Ben and the glimmer of Tower Bridge, two of Turkey's most beloved stars, Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu, would cross paths in a way that would alter the course of their personal lives forever. The news that Barış and Elçin, widely adored for their on-screen chemistry and Karalık aşk, may have carried their affection into real life has sent shockwaves through both the Turkish entertainment world and the international media. Their story, which reportedly began with a chance meeting in London, reads like the very script of a romantic film, but one that no director could ever have written better. The London setting. It was a crisp spring afternoon in central London. The skies alternated between sudden showers and brief glimmers of sunshine, typical British weather. The streets were alive, tourists queued outside Buckingham Palace, artists painted near Covent Garden, and students hurried along the Strand. Barış, known for his understated elegance, was said to be in London for a short professional visit, attending a private industry event connected to a potential international project. Elçin, meanwhile, was reportedly in the city for both leisure and personal meetings with representatives from a UK-based fashion house. As fate would have it, both stars found themselves in the same boutique cafe in Notting Hill, a place known for its artistic atmosphere and cozy charm. Eyewitnesses recall that Barış had been sitting quietly in a corner with a book and coffee when Elçin walked in, accompanied only by a close friend, and then it happened, their eyes met. A spark rekindled. Those who witnessed the scene claimed there was a visible recognition between the two. Not only recognition as former colleagues, but something softer, warmer, an unspoken understanding of a shared past and a possibility for a new chapter. They smiled the moment they saw each other, one cafe guest later shared. It wasn't just a polite smile. It was the kind of smile you'd give to someone you're genuinely happy to see. The pair reportedly began with light conversation, catching up on personal lives, careers, and travel experiences. Yet, as minutes turned into hours, the discussion seemed to deepen. Barış was seen leaning in, his expression thoughtful, while Elçin's laughter filled the small cafe, her warmth drawing attention from every corner. A walk through London following their coffee, the two stars are said to have taken a leisurely stroll through, blending seamlessly with the London crowd. Onlookers described them as comfortable, natural, and relaxed, not behaving like celebrities burdened by fame, but rather like two ordinary people rediscovering a bond. They walked past the Serpentine Lake, pausing to watch swans glide across the water. They reportedly stopped near a bookstall, where Elçin picked up a vintage poetry collection, which Barış jokingly offered to buy for her. It was romantic, like watching a film in real life, said another witness. From friendship to something more. Though both Barış and Elçin have always been careful about their private lives, those close to them hint that London may have been the true beginning of a relationship that went beyond friendship. Sources suggest that what started as a casual reunion soon grew into a daily companionship during their stay. The two were allegedly spotted again at a West End theatre performance, seated side by side, their expressions lit up by the stage lights. Days later, they were photographed entering the British Museum, dressed casually but unmistakably together. Media speculation exploded. Turkish fans flooded social media with hashtags like Barış London and Love in London, while international outlets picked up the story, dubbing them Turkey's answer to modern-day royalty. A love protected by privacy. Both actors are known for valuing discretion when it comes to their personal lives. Despite the swirl of speculation, neither Barış nor Elçin offered official confirmation during their London stay. Insiders suggest they preferred to nurture their growing affection away from the cameras, savoring the freedom that the United Kingdom afforded them. London gave them a kind of anonymity, said a source. They could walk without being constantly followed, enjoy normal things like dinner, museums, or bookstores. That's what made their bond grow stronger. After their unexpected reunion at the cafe and stroll through Hyde Park, whispers began to spread in certain circles. For most Londoners, they were just another couple enjoying the city's rich offerings. But for a handful of sharp-eyed fans and travelers, the sight of Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu together in the United Kingdom was impossible to overlook. Dinner in the city. 2 nights after their cafe encounter, the pair were spotted at a quiet restaurant in Soho, a place famous for attracting creatives and celebrities who seek both fine dining and a degree of discretion. They didn't request a private room, one staff member revealed, but they were seated in a tucked-away corner, almost hidden behind a row of potted plants. It was clear they weren't trying to be flashy, they just wanted to enjoy themselves. Eyewitnesses claimed the dinner lasted nearly 3 hours. Barış, ever the gentleman, listened intently as Elçin spoke animatedly about her love for London's architecture and theatre culture. He occasionally leaned closer, smiling in that effortless way that once made their Karalık-esque romance unforgettable for millions. At one point, Elçin was seen playfully covering her face with her hands after a joke from Barış, laughter escaping despite her attempt at modesty. Those present described the atmosphere between them as unmistakably affectionate, though not overt. They weren't behaving like stars on display, said a fellow diner. They were behaving like two people who really liked being around each other. Theatre under the spotlight. The next evening, another sighting confirmed suspicions that their London story was not a one-time encounter. Barış and Elçin were seen at the Palace Theatre, attending a performance of a globally celebrated play, though they slipped in quietly, dressed in understated attire, Barış in a dark jacket, Elçin in a chic beige trench coat. Fans still recognized them. Social media posts began circulating almost instantly, grainy photos accompanied by captions such as, "I swear I just saw Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu at the theatre in London. Together, are they filming something here, or is this romance?" Barış in London. Throughout the show, the two were said to be fully absorbed, occasionally leaning close to whisper thoughts about the play. At intermission, they were spotted sharing a single program booklet, their heads tilted toward each other in a way that drew soft smiles from those who noticed. A walk along the Thames after the theatre, rather than retreating into the anonymity of a car, Barış and Elçin reportedly chose to walk along the south bank of the Thames, hand in hand. For them, the night was private. For onlookers, it was the stuff of fairy tales. They stopped near the London Eye, just gazing at the lights reflecting on the river, said one couple who happened to pass by. It was intimate, but also calm. Like they were in their own little world. The image of the two Turkish stars, one tall and charismatic, the other radiant with elegance, strolling quietly against the glowing London skyline, has since become an unofficial symbol of their rumored romance. Fans react worldwide as more sightings poured in. Fans across Turkey and beyond began piecing together the story. Within days, hashtags like Barış and Elçin in London, Barış Sinirments, and London Love Story began trending on Turkish Twitter. "I always dreamed they would fall in love in real life," wrote one admirer. "Maybe London is their destiny," another fan posted. Turkish media outlets picked up the speculation, and soon European and Middle Eastern press joined in, calling it one of the most surprising celebrity love stories of the year. Protecting their privacy despite the mounting buzz, neither Barış nor Elçin made any public statements. Close sources, however, hinted that the two had intentionally chosen London as a meeting ground for a reason. "Privacy, London allows them to breathe," said one insider. "They're recognized, yes, but not harassed the way they might be in Istanbul. They can be just two people exploring the city, not constantly surrounded by paparazzi. That's why they're comfortable here. It gives them space to discover how they truly feel about each other." Conversations beyond the cameras. By the 4th day of their stay in London, insiders suggest that something had noticeably shifted between Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu. What began as two colleagues reconnecting in a foreign city was quietly blossoming into something more meaningful. They weren't just reminiscing about the past, shared a close source who reportedly spoke with a member of Elçin's London circle. They were talking about the future, about what they wanted in life, about balance, about dreams that went beyond acting. That's when it became clear, this wasn't just a friendship. It was the start of a partnership. In one particularly intimate conversation, the pair were said to have discussed the challenges of fame and how difficult it was to maintain genuine relationships under constant public scrutiny. Elçin allegedly confided that she longed for moments of ordinary simplicity, walking hand in hand, cooking at home, being free from headlines. Barış, known for his grounded personality, reportedly responded by saying that the most extraordinary thing in life is to have someone you can share the ordinary with. Hidden moments in Kensington. During their London days, the pair frequently visited Kensington Gardens, a quieter alternative to there. They could sit on benches centuries-old trees, unnoticed among tourists and local families. Eyewitnesses recall seeing them with takeaway coffee cups, seated side by side, talking softly as though the world around them had disappeared. One passerby described the scene. It was raining lightly, and most people were rushing past with umbrellas. But they stayed, just laughing together on a bench, sharing a single umbrella. They looked like two people who had decided that nothing else mattered in that moment. For fans who later heard these accounts, the image was symbolic. London's unpredictable rain was no barrier to their growing warmth, a whisper of romance. Though both Barış and Elçin remained cautious in public, small gestures gave away the change in their dynamic. At a cozy jazz club in Shoreditch, where they were seen one evening, witnesses claimed Barış gently placed his hand over Elçin's when the music grew slower and softer. They weren't putting on a show for anyone, said a fellow guest. It was natural, effortless. You could feel the electricity in the air, the kind that only happens when two people realize they're falling for each other. The pair reportedly stayed until the early hours, leaving together with easy smiles, their closeness unmistakable. Media buzz intensifies. By this point, the Turkish and international press had become relentless. Photos of the duo at the museum, the theater, and strolling along the Thames had been splashed across websites and tabloids. The coverage ranged from speculative headlines like Barış and Elçin, "Is it love in London?" to bold claims such as "The Karalık stars reignite their chemistry in real life." Yet, interestingly, despite the noise, neither Barış nor Elçin showed signs of retreating. Instead, sources claimed they deliberately chose to continue enjoying London's cultural spots, unfazed by the growing curiosity. "Normally celebrities hide the moment a rumor spreads," noted a Turkish journalist stationed in London. But Barış and Elçin didn't hide. They didn't flaunt their relationship either, they just lived. And that's what made people believe this wasn't a PR stunt. It was real. A walk that changed everything. The pivotal moment, as recalled by multiple accounts, came one evening near St. Paul's Cathedral. After dinner nearby, the two decided to walk the quiet streets, lit softly by golden lamps. "They stopped on the Millennium Bridge," said one onlooker, "just standing there looking at the view of the Thames and the cathedral dome." Then, very gently, he took her hand. It wasn't dramatic. It was simple. But it was in that moment you could see they weren't just friends anymore. Witnesses reported that the pair lingered for nearly an hour, deep in conversation, occasionally laughing, occasionally falling silent. To those who saw them, it felt like the city itself had stepped aside to give them privacy. From past to present, fans have always known that the chemistry between Barış and Elçin was undeniable on screen. Yet, for years, both insisted that their relationship was purely professional. The London encounter, however, reignited questions about whether their bond had always carried an undercurrent of something more. "Sometimes timing is everything," remarked a fellow actor when asked by Turkish media about the rumors. "They've always had respect and affection for each other. Maybe London gave them the right place and moment to realize what was already there. A romance sealed in silence." By the time their London stay was nearing its end, those close to the pair confirmed that something had indeed shifted. While no official statement was made, insiders revealed that both Barış and Elçin spoke openly to trusted friends about how refreshing it felt to reconnect outside of Istanbul's relentless spotlight. "They weren't rushing," said one confidant. But they weren't denying it either. They were simply allowing themselves to feel, and to see where it might lead.